going on?
What's going on, lads?
So today it's a bit different. Like, we're gonna start doing a bit like videos like this. More, because obviously going and travelling everywhere is like quite costly. It's turning into winter season. Yeah,
so we are still gonna be doing the videos of us going out, but today we wanted to do a bit of a different video, which is something that we want to make aware, because it affects everyone, you know, and it's just something that we felt like they need to talk about.
Yeah, so this is going to be probably like a podcast. We don't know how long this is going to be, but we're going to try and include everything we can.
Yeah, as much as we can, really.
So there's a few subjects that we do want to go through.
Yeah.
Arrons got his story time. Basically, it happened. When did it happen?
So 3 years ago now.
3 years ago, and he's going to explain how it's affected him mentally. We'll get into the video more, obviously,
as we go through.
As we go through.
But it's just like, so we'll take you back 3 years. 6th of May. I was involved in a hit and run.
I'll put the newspaper article somewhere, because it'll be on the web, and I'll even link it if you guys want to read in your own time.
Yeah, it was made on the news, and basically what happened was I was on my motorbike going down the road, and a car pulled out on me, and I went over the bonnet, and somehow I still managed on the bike, but my leg and my foot has took a very severe injury, and I had a lot of operations for it. It was a big accident, to be fair. I mean, I nearly lost my leg, you know, for it. You know, it was just crazy, to be fair. I mean, I was on the floor bleeding out, you know, my leg is, I look down, you know, and I've seen all my leg was open and my foot was mangled, and it was, it was just crazy, to be fair. And obviously I got rushed to hospital, and Cal drove, didn't you?
I drove. I drove to hospital. I was at work. You see, like, the day this event happened, like, we actually found out through a friend of mine, and
a friend of ours.
She messaged me and she was like, "Have you heard about Arrons?" And I was like, "No." What? I was like, "What's going on?" Obviously, I was at work at this pizza place where I was a delivery driver, and I was on to 11, and I think she messaged me about 8:30, something like that, and I just remember instantly, I was like, "What?" So I caught about like Arrons' phone like 10 times. Then luckily I had his sister on Snapchat. Messaged his sister and he was like, "I'll give you my mum's number, you can chat to her." And obviously I was on the phone with his mum for about an hour. And obviously I just went straight to my gaffer and I was like, "Look, I need to go. My friend's in a situation, something's happened, I need to go." And he was like, "Oh, but you on 211, we've got no one else." So I said, "I don't care. I need to go." So what did it? Obviously, this is in lockdown. Yeah.
So this was in 2020, during sort of peak sort of lockdown, realistically. The start where all the regulations, you know, you couldn't go out and things like that, and you know, it really changed all, to be fair. And
I remember driving to the QE in Birmingham.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, so basically I had two options. The paramedics said the only reason, to be honest, why I still have all my foot on my leg was because they took me to the QE. If I went to the man, I'd have lost my leg. And obviously experiencing that, you know, and being in hospital was such a lonely time, you know, for me, because no one could come in, you know, and in the months that I was in hospital for, and, you know, just lying there doing nothing, you know, it really affected me badly. You know, and my confidence was just smashed. You know, I felt like a part of me died that night, because since that night I haven't been able to ride a motorbike, you know, or even be as involved as I used to be. You know, I used to go to a lot of events. I haven't been to one since. You know, motorbike, haven't owned one. You know, it's proper. It did proper crumble me, to be fair. And obviously at the time I had no car and whatnot. You know. And there was nothing I could do, and I felt like you noticed I changed quite a bit, to be fair, to be honest.
Well, it's your mental health that dropped.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a few questions, right? So, about the situation.
Yeah.
How long was you in hospital for?
So I went actually to the hospital for a total of 3 different surgeries. So obviously when I initially went in, I was in for a few weeks. having many surgeries to try and save as much tissue as possible, to take a thing called Integra put on my leg and my foot, and then I went out. When that was ready, I come back in for a skin graft. I was in there for a week, and once the skin was on, that's when I could start my rehabilitation, started walking. And then the following year, on the January, I had another operation.
That was on your toes, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was on my toes to try and drop them, but it didn't really work. I could have another operation to this day, but it's that risky that they don't want to do it, to be honest with you, leave it as a last resort. But my foot has changed, it's permanently changed me, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, I remember being on the phone with your mum on that same night. I still haven't had phone calls this day.
Yeah, I saw it,
She was saying that the doctors, if you went to another hospital, they was going to cut off these leg.
Then they weren't going to try and save it, And to be fair, this is something that I live with every day. It's not like it doesn't go away. Every morning, I wake up, you look down, it's there.
It's life changing.
Yeah. Even what was it, 3 years later? I still think about it. Literally, it's just happened. It sort of never really left me. And it completely shattered I couldn't wear shorts for ages. I felt so insecure about it because it's such a massive scar,
Yeah.
And obviously when I was, people did see, what's that, what I mean? It's not really would knock me about, hearing people say things like that,
Well, even to this day, it still affects you. You can't run, you can't walk for long distances. It affects you. It's when you guys watch the videos, right? You don't understand what it's like me being there for him.
Yeah.
Because even though we go up all these big mountains and all that, we have to take short breaks because
I say the videos take so much longer to film than you think, because they take 3 times the length, and we really have to plan out our Sundays, and we really have to start off a lot earlier, and things like that, and we really try to pre-plan them because we try to make them look as glorified as possible. In all honesty, make them look really nice.
We do, but the thing though, it's if we go on a long walk somewhere, it's literally we have to take a break.
Yeah. We're looking on the way up. We look for I can stop off there. I can stop off here. We can have a break here. And things like that. Because as well, the type of shoes I wear affect how far I can walk. And things like this. And we have to really put a lot of planning into our videos due to the fact that. It's not to be fair, it's not just the walking as well, temperature wise, when we've been walking in shorts, we try to pick areas that are less popular realistically.
Yeah.
Times, where people won't be about, and even to this day, the videos I feel like I didn't want to do anything, honestly, after it happened. It really proper took a toll, and for ages, you try and get me to go out. I didn't want to know, I really isolated myself. I
remember when you was in crutches.
Yeah.
Remember when that one day you went to Wetherspoons, you stopped over mine, and you was in crutches, and obviously we got a taxi there, but we had a few things to drink.
Then we had to get a taxi back.
That one time, but I'm on the second time when you was walking back on crutches, and where I literally had to. You jumped on my shoulders for
because
a whole 15 minutes. I
say a little. What was it, 3 streets from your house? It took literally double the time because I couldn't do it, and things like this, it really it halted up here because I thought I was better than I was, and I clearly wasn't, and there was things I shouldn't have done, and even trying to get in public places for ages, I didn't want to know.
It was a bit the doctor was saying you're overachieving yourself, didn't he? Because you felt confident doing something. Let's just say, you remember when you were still on crutches and then you slowly got rid of them?
Oh god, that took ages. Yeah,
I know, that's what I mean.
I didn't want
they thought the recovery time was going to be 18 months.
So obviously going out to places like the Wetherspoons, like we've mentioned, we'd have to get taxis back, and and I say it was only once or twice it happened realistically, because
You just hated going out though.
Well, I didn't enjoy that night.
Was affected.
Yeah.
And then when you used to go out, like you wouldn't wear shorts. I think it was like 27 degrees on that day, and I was like, Aaron, what are you doing wearing like jeans? And like, there was me in shorts, and he was like, because of my leg. No one likes the way he looks at it, and I had to tell him. I was like, Aaron, no one's gonna judge you by your leg. If anything, it's a storyteller, but you just need to get that mindset. Obviously, you got that mindset. Well, probably not all the way.
No, I say there's still a long way to go.
Yeah.
Look, obviously there is levels of improvement because of how long it was, but you know, to this day, you know, like for instance, what you got to understand, guys, right, is only sort of Thursdays to Sundays we see each other realistically, and Sundays are our day to do stuff, you know. But I'm not gonna lie, like in the week and things like that, it's very hard. You know, I don't know about yourself, but for me, it's hard. You know, like after we kill the cameras, you know, and we have to go home, it's horrible, really, because it's like an escape in a way. That's why we do these videos, you know. Yeah, but it's still hard, you know. Like before, we used to go places, there was no problem, no issue. You know, we'd love it, you know.
But peak 17, 18,
yeah,
19 for me.
Oh god, yeah. Well, we think all the time, you know, and we'd be running around places, you know, where now, like, I have to take, you know, and there's things I can't do at the risk of fetching or damaging the area, you know. And we have to really plan, you know, like in our latest video, that isn't uploaded yet, to be fair. We recorded one previously, and we were there was like a little bit of a hill with some rocks on the end, and we go to them, but it took us like
probably about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But it should have taken us like 15.
Oh, you were already at the top in like 5 minutes, man. I was there like taking, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's soul destroying sometimes, you know, because we really like halfway. I mean, honestly, there's been videos we've been trying to make, and we've had to put them on hold because we couldn't finish the day, or we couldn't fully record because I just, you know, like a bit, you know.
You haven't got the fitness anymore.
Yeah.
It's like when you was like 17, you used to play rugby, you used to play like all these sports.
Yeah.
You physically cannot do it anymore.
Nah, it's too much risk to, you know, and it did send me in a spiral, you know. I mean, I'd like to think it's better than what it was now, but like sleep is something that I still struggle with because you get like flashbacks, you know, and things like that, you know, that sort of disrupt the patterns, you know, and I've got to, like I say, I have to live with it every day, you know, regardless of whether I want to or not, it's still there. And it's a shame, really, because it wasn't my fault, but it happened, you know, and I had to suffer the consequences for someone else's actions, you know. And I look, and the whole reason why we do these videos is to try and uplift people's spirits who are in similar situations, or you know, just to show that it can be done, but it's at a cost, you know.
Yeah.
It's not just like the money of getting there, it's the time, you know. And it's like so much deeper than what people realise.
Yeah, because it's like, for you it's mentally draining, and for me to watch you like struggle to do these things, because obviously it's I mean, if we wind the clocks before it happened, you know, God, life's changed so much, you know. And it, you know, it's unreal, really. I mean, the extent of the changes have got to go on all night, you know. And it's, you just have to accept it in a way. It's hard to, you know, and believe me, you know, words are a lot easier to say than actions, you know. That's why words are cheap, you know. But really, you know, we do try, and really, like, the enjoyment I get out of life is so little. So these videos that we make do help lift that up, but they're a lot harder to make than what they would for anyone else. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also about these videos, just like, imagine like 10 years time, we can look back and we can say like, we've achieved this, we've gone through this, but we ended up like there, if that makes sense for you guys. But
I say, but like what we were getting at is when the cameras go off, you know, life is a bit different for us, you know. And sometimes we struggle to find the motivation to do the videos, you know, which I believe everyone does experience. But you know, I mean, I've had, like, I had to have multiple therapists and things like this, you know, to try and it was a very weird experience for me, you know, because I mean, being a man, you're not really told to express your feelings. So, you know, I'm sitting there and I've got to talk to someone. I've never done that before, you know, and I'm sort of like, I don't really know what to do. And I try and avoid the questions in therapy, and, you know, they try and give me tasks, I just wouldn't do them, you know, and it sort of felt like I was fighting against them, and it wasn't helping, really. Just purely because it's not how I dealt with things, you know.
Yeah.
And like, we do try to keep ourselves uplifted, but it's, you know, it's still a battle every day, you know, regardless, you know.
But we always get there, that's the main thing.
We make efforts to try and increase it, you know, and it's just hard. It is hard, there's no two ways about it, you know. There's things that we want to do that we just can't, you know, like there's a place that we wanted to go where, you know, there's like a bit of water and you can jump off, and that I can't take that risk, you know. Like,
yeah, it's like in Malia, obviously I was there jumping off boats, but obviously he isn't confident doing that.
No. That was such a big thing, you know. I stayed in the shadows, you know. I was in the shadows, you know, because I felt like people would look at me, you know.
Yeah.
So we do, you know, it's hard because there's times where I forget, for that brief moment I forget, and life's so blessed and we can enjoy the moment, and it doesn't last as long as I wanted it to, you know. And then it's really hard because some of our holidays, you know, like when we're doing the videos and that, as soon as the cameras are off, I'll be like, I want to go back and that, you know, and things like that, weren't it, you know. And we do, you know, we try to push each other, you know,
we do.
Yeah, you know, but it's just,
I think you push yourself more than I push you, though. Like, I just feel like you like to achieve things at your pace, but your pace is that. My pace is.
Yeah, it's hard really, because obviously prior to my accident I was a very fast, you know, I liked achieving goals fast. I had a mindset where if I had a goal, I'm going to achieve it in this time period, you know, where now my time period's this instead of that, you know. So, and it's very hard for me to adapt to that sometimes, you know, and it can be very demoralising, purely based on the fact that I've got to adjust to something that I never ever thought I would have to in my life, you know.
Yeah.
Seeing as, you know, through the 17 years I lived previous, I never had no issues or no major scars or broke bones or nothing, and in one night I'd done everything, you know.
But the thing is, right, this is your teenage years. Well, actually,
well, it's our 20s
yeah,
now,
but
yeah.
we're in the 20s now, and your teenage years was literally like your prime ones, 17 to 19. You spent that time recovering, and you're never going to get that time back.
That's it, yeah.
The things you wanted to do when you was 18 and 19 was affected by that accident. And how did that guy, what happened to him? I think
nothing realistically, yeah.
Slap on the wrist.
Yeah, that was it, yeah, which was so infuriating. That was a whole separate battle itself, because I had the anger that I felt like justice was just not served, you know. And it played on me, you know, and it's very hard to make peace with these things, you know. But it's not just me, you have your own things yourself. I mean, what about in uni?
Well, that's something we say for another video, because I could have lots for that.
Yeah.
But if you guys want to see like what actually happened to his leg, we'll post some photos like there or there.
But graphic view discretion is advised. It is graphic content, you know, and we will have to blur them a little bit because you can't really post them on YouTube as per se.
Yeah, well, we're not going to show you we're going to show you like after the surgery, like to this date right now.
Yeah,
like just not before, because that stuff is graphic, and
you know, I mean, the thing is as well, you know, it's a thing where, because people will make comments, you know, like when we go live and that, you know, and we try to keep happy, but it's so hard sometimes with what people say, you know. They don't realise that what I've gone through and what you've gone through, you know, no one takes account for
I don't think I've gone through as much as hard as you, because yours is health related, mine's just like things that just happened and I've got over it.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't think I was prepared for how long or extensive that the period of time of recovery would be. You know, I was expecting it to be a lot.
I always thought you rushed your recovery. You just push yourself too much. And I even remember saying to you, like, oh, you need to slow it down. If not, you're just gonna end up things. I mean, like, you've come out fine, kind of, but
I came out intact, but it was
Yeah.
I think it was the fact that I wanted to go and get it over and done with. For some reason in my head, the quicker I got it over and done with, the better. Which it just didn't turn out to be. It was clearly not the attack of approach, you know. But I remember I went through just like violent mood swings, and even still to this day, you know, like I can control it a bit more, but nowhere to the extent where I want to be. And you know, there's times where I'll feel a very strong emotion that's pinnacle, you know.
It's your mental health matters. But when you know you physically cannot do nothing about it,
that's what it sucks. Yeah. Because
things though, like right now, you're going to be fine. But it's when Arrons gone home or he hasn't got me, and he's in his room and he's just by himself, and his brain's just thinking, and he's just looking down.
It's racing,
racing, and it's flashbacks that'll come back to you. Because obviously I know it's because he's told me, and he's had thoughts that I'm not going to get into.
No,
but
that you shouldn't really be thinking.
Yeah. Which obviously this is what happens.
Yeah.
Obviously everyone has a story, and this is his story.
I mean, the thing is as well, the previous year too, of a mutual sort of one of my friends, their friends got killed, 2 of them, you know, at 16 on mopeds, you know. And obviously for that to only happen a year previous, and then my accident, it just was crazy, you know. So many emotions were going through my head, and I was having very rapid mood swings because I couldn't. I don't even think to this day. My brain can still comprehend what's happened, you know. And people are like, yeah, you learn to live with it, but everyone does in their own way, and it's about finding the way that works for you, I believe. Yeah. And it affected everything, like relationships. Now I don't think I've had one since, have I really?
No. We won't talk about relationships because,
we can't really get into it. Yeah, exactly. But what I was saying is it has affected everything, you know, and it's because I just didn't think anyone else could relate to it realistically.
You can't really blame relationships for this, really.
No. It's just a knock-on effect it has to them.
Yeah.
You know, purely just based on what's happened realistically.
Yeah. Well, things are right. I know it's affected your life, but it's also affected the people's life around you, hasn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Your parents, your mum was upset, everything. Me.
Well, my dad, originally everyone thought I died. Yeah, and people thought I died, you know, as opposed to still being alive. And like, I feel like everyone's more cautious around me, you know, because they feel like I need to be protected, and I felt that affected me as well because I was so used to being independent, and then to being fully dependent on everyone just crumbled me. I like being an independent person, but I couldn't be. You know, I couldn't make my own food. I couldn't even get up, you know, and You couldn't even go to the toilet. You used to manage, like... I had to have help getting to it. Just getting to it. Why do you need help getting... You know what I mean? These things were just playing on in my mind, you know. I couldn't even go to the toilet, to like walk to it without aid of other people. Or like, when I had to go for a shower, I couldn't just get to the shower by myself. And I had to have a stall and things like this, you know, and... It's things that you never think about.
No, that was a very dark 6 months for you, I reckon. Because you think that you was waiting for surgery after surgery after surgery. Well, even longer than that. Yeah. And obviously, you'll know that more.
Well, yeah, it was. But the thing is, it was all just a waiting game as well. That's why I hated this, because it was out of my control. I couldn't change. I couldn't have it like now when I needed it. I had to wait on the list and things like this, you know. And I couldn't eat. I couldn't even make food. Like I'd sit there at the kitchen with a bowl of cereal, and I couldn't take it to the table. And it just ripped me. I just felt useless, you know. And of course it affected you as well, you know. Like, I know your whole side of it would be completely different to mine. How did it affect you?
Well, obviously it's just like seeing your best friend, like not being able to live his life. Like when I received that, when I was on the call with your mum, I was drained. Like I went straight to think it was in lockdown.
Yeah.
And obviously when your mum said you had a chance of losing your leg, I was like, shit, this is bad.
Yeah.
So obviously, it's not a very unique situation. And then obviously, me and him was used to seeing each other for, I think I called you a total of 179 times when you had that accident. And you obviously didn't have your phone back for like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, because it got taken in with my other clothes. So I had to get cut out my clothes.
And this is another thing, right? Not even your mum was allowed to visit you. No one. He had no one to go and visit him. For
So, yeah.
how long was that for? Because it was
God,
tough.
it was like a few
tough
weeks. Yeah,
lockdown.
Initially when I was in that hospital having the vacuum dressing on and all that, you know, I was literally, and my leg was like, my calf was the size of my thigh, you know, it was massive, you know, and the swelling was mental, and to have no one, that was I gotta tell you, that was the worst days. Them few weeks felt like years lived, because the hours went by and I had no one to talk to, no one to, you know, just be there to comfort, really, you know. It was just a complete alone battle, and I feel like that was the worst of it. And obviously going out, I had to try and change. And then, do you know what was really soul destroying for me was seeing how it affected my family. Like they looked dead inside, you know.
Yeah.
Seeing you look dead inside, it completely crumbled me, really.
That's it. But look, there's nothing else to really look back onto now. Like
No.
it's over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
it.
your story.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you've had your story, and now it's just, this is like spreading awareness at the same time. Just if anyone has an accident like this, you're not alone.
Yeah, you're not.
Even if this is about like depression or mental health, you're not alone.
No, I gotta
Speak
say,
to someone.
it was good that I believe I had really good support, even if I didn't utilise it as well as I should have done. I knew it was there, you know. You know, I was lucky to have people like you and my family around, you know, who even though they couldn't understand, they still were there, you know, in ways that they could, you know. And I believe that anyone who's suffering a similar experience to myself or what you've been through as well, you got to remember that there's people who do care, and there's people you can talk to, you know, or seek help. You know, that people would much rather you go talk to them than to attend your funeral. I promise you that.
Yeah.
Promise you that.
Exactly.
Because there was times when I thought about it, you know. Of course there was, you know. I think anyone would be stupid to assume that I didn't think about it, but it was. You know, just imagine like you know, you're living life 100 miles an hour, and for it to just stop dead still in a split second. And I even couldn't comprehend for the first like 6 to 8 months. I couldn't even realise that it still happened, you know. But what you have to remember is, like, there is people there who do care in your life, who will.
And there's a lot of resources out there, like phone lines.
Yes, hotlines.
Even if it's speaking to a close friend, family, someone
Even your
who's
boss.
trusted.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Me.
Even us, if you guys are literally having like a situation like this, like my DMs aren't locked, his DMs aren't locked.
We'd much rather you try and share your feelings towards us.
Yeah.
We
I think that you don't have to feel like you're forced to tell everyone everything. It's just like, you'll feel unhappy. There's people out there that can help you.
Yeah. Because I say, everyone would much rather you talk to. I promise you, like, if you're not feeling well, I'd much rather you like drop the pride and come talk to me, and vice versa. You know that you'd rather have me talk to you than to bottle it in. You know, because that's when things go wrong, is when you bottle it in and you don't talk, because you only got yourself, and sometimes you can't see things that other people can, and they can help you see the right path.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, aside from that, though, obviously what we were trying to get at was, you know, like, we found that making the videos helped in a way. Although when the cameras go off and, you know, and making the videos is hard, really hard than what it would be for other people, we'd still try and do that it certainly helps me to make the videos, you know.
Yeah.
Even though, look, that they might take 3 times as long, and, you know, we might have to really pre-plan, and, you know, there's things that we've wanted to do that we couldn't because I couldn't get there, or I couldn't, you know, or whatever, you know. But we're still trying, and I believe that's what you have to do in a situation as mine, or like yours, or like anyone's. You have to just try everything until you find something that works.
In life, right, you've got to sometimes take 2 steps back to go 2 steps forward.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if you are affected by something, don't ever let it stop you. Like,
as hard as it can be. I mean, look, I'm not going to say I'm a perfect example, because I'm not. There's days when it does stop me. There's weeks when it stopped, months. But you have to just try and fight it, you know. And whether you're alone or not, you actually really are never alone. You're not. Realistically.
Like, there's going to be people in worse situations.
Oh, good.
Vanny story. Like, there's going to be people out there who've probably lost limbs.
Or. or family members, or
exactly, and
or,
they might not have no
yeah,
family and
or
all
even
that.
possessions. They've lost a house, or and they can't get it back, and things like this, But there's always an answer, I believe, that is not you unliving yourself.
I agree.
I mean, look, I won't lie. There's times where I've suffered with it really badly, but luckily I've had like you there. I've had my family there, to try and bring me out of that position, and you have to really try, and some days, even on the days you don't, they try for you. They put the 80% in if you're only putting the 20% in. I mean, literally, I remember the days when it still happens now, but not as often, but I was waking up, with flashbacks of it. I was sweating, I was cold sweating, and I couldn't sleep. I was so fatigued, I was so tired. I felt rubbish, like I felt horrible, all the time, and it just killed me, whereas like now when that happened, it's still bad, it still affects me, but I can take it a lot better than what I did, But obviously we just wanted to sort of make this video as a just so you get to know us a bit more personal level, realistically, as well, and to help awareness.
Yeah, no, it's all about awareness. You've had a story and it's affected your life,
but the thing,
you're not going to be the only one in this situation now.
No. But we wanted to make it because we feel like men's mental health is an absolute joke. It's an absolute joke.
Yes, because in today's world, men aren't really.
There's not a lot.
How do you put in words?
Well, okay, so men's mental health isn't taken as seriously, as women's or children's, But we are still people, regardless.
Yeah.
And it's not like feminine, or you're not like soft or whatever, Because at the end of the day, you can't be 100% all the time. You can't, maybe it takes you years, maybe it takes you months or days, but stay true to helping yourself, and believe me, it will get better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this has been Aaron's story. If you guys got any questions, write in the comments. Aaron would.
Yeah, I'm more happy to answer, or our Telegram group, or like I say, our Instagram DMs are always open.
Exactly. We're always here to help.
Yeah.
Like, we might not respond in the first minute or 10 minutes, but we will respond.
Yeah, we'll be there. And you can share your experiences, and we can put them into a video, and maybe make something of it. This probably wasn't as. We'll make it. Our next time we'll try and plan it better and make it into a better video.
We probably have repeated ourselves on certain things quite a lot, but
it's because it's hard to not.
Yeah. I think we've explained everything we need to, though.
Yeah. It's in this video was try to free flow it as a podcast. Where there's less cuts. There's less editing, and it's more. We wanted it to be more of a natural goal, you see, so you can see how hard it is for us when we actually make our videos, where they all flow. Whereas this, in our videos we don't really repeat ourselves or things like that. Whereas in these we do, because it's fresh, it's raw. There's not really going to be much editing on this footage. But obviously, I feel like next, we might make a little side series of this, where we discuss personal experiences or experiences that we read online, and we put forth our opinion on it, because everyone's got a perspective. I've got a different perspective to you. You've got a different perspective to me. Because we've both seen different things in life.
Well, every opinion's different, and every opinion is valid.
Yeah, 100%. And we just really wanted to sort of raise the awareness that whatever you're going through, you're not going through it alone, realistically, and just to try and keep that positive note.
Don't give up.
No, I mean, look at our videos. We try to emit positivity in these videos because that's what we believe in.
What we try and do in our videos, right? We try and help people to travel. We love travelling.
Yeah.
My happiness is to get out of the West Midlands.
Yeah.
Travel. It doesn't matter if it's 100 miles that way, 50 miles that way, anywhere outside that West Midlands, like, I'm happy.
Yeah, and even though it's not as straightforward for us as it would be for other people, who have not got an injury like mine, or whatnot, we just wanted to show that it's still possible, even though you have to pre-plan it a bit more and you do have to take your time.
Yeah,
it's still possible. That's really where we were getting at, and we enjoy bringing joy to you. Basically, we like to show you that there's still beautiful places in the world, and sometimes if that helps, it, you know, then we'd love you to get out more. It helps us by all means. You know, we have a nice
like we cherish like moments.
Yeah.
Like every time I see a waterfall, I have to go there.
Yeah.
And take a photo or something. I'll drive him mad for that, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because there's been times when we want to go on somewhere and go see this waterfall. I'll tell you, I'm like, all right, you get down there. I'll be there in 10 minutes. You know what I mean? I'm having a rest. And you're there, you know. But it's about finding what helps make you feel happy, you know, and what helps sort of take the sadness away for X amount of time, and to build yourself a foundation, you know, in your mental health.
I think
really.
my happy places bloody just any random sea, so I can go surfing.
Yeah.
At least if there's 4 foot or 3 foot waves that I can surf on, then
happy with that. Yeah, you know. But obviously everyone's got their own sort of thing. But we try to encourage people to pursue what they find entertaining, really, and what makes them happy. For us, it's travelling. For you, it might be I don't know, drawing or playing a musical instrument or staying in your room.
It's any hobby. If you guys got any hobbies, but I mean, like, don't get me wrong. If your injury or whatever you're going through does affect your hobbies,
you still shouldn't give up on them. You know, there will be ways around it. Okay, it won't be the same. Look, travelling for us has not been the same since. It has not. You have to appreciate that it has not. It is different, but we still enjoy it in a different way, and that's I believe what matters is where we get at.
Yeah. But this will pretty much round the whole video.
Yeah. Like we say, any questions, you can feel free to drop comments, like and subscribe. Check out our TikToks. We try to go live as well. Again, another way we bring entertainment.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you in the next video.
And remember, you're not alone.
Not alone.